Welcome to the most overrated, underappreciated, most viewed, underviewed podcast of all time. Welcome to the Prince of Fresh Air. That's right. Now, this is a different type of podcast episode. This is going to be something I got from my man, Mr. DJ. It's called Quick Take. And I want to do that because this has been bugging me since I heard about it. So, you ready, Dimitri?
Back at it with another one.
I want to get into this because we talked about this a few times, and this kind of been blowing up on Twitter. Dr. Dre and his wife are getting divorced. So for people who don't know about this, so Dr. Dre and his wife have been married for 25 years, and she recently filed divorce like 2 months ago from him, and they signed the prenup when they got married. So that's a whole nother thing, but what she's trying to do is now she hired a lawyer and all this stuff. She's trying to get the prenup voided so, the judge can overrule it and, try to approve her for her demands, which I'm not going to get into all that because I'm not married, but I kind of know what a prenup is. So good luck with that. But here's the thing that got me and a bunch of people. So Nicole Young, his wife, is asking for $2 million a month. Now, you might think, all right, he sold beads, he got, close to $1 billion in net worth. Why is that such a big thing? So let me break down this number for you. Why she wants $2 million a month, right? So laundry and cleaning, she puts down as $10,000 a month. Clothes, you guessed it, $135,000 a month. Education, which is tuition and living expenses, $60,000 a month. Entertainment, entertainment is reasonable. It's $900,000 a month. Charitable contributions, $125,000 a month. Mortgage, $100,000 a month. Telephone, cell phone, and email, $20,000 a month. Now, you might think, that's not too bad, or you might think that's excessive. But here's the thing I took away from this. Since when did an email account cost someone $20,000 a month to maintain? Because Google's free, Yahoo's free, and regardless if you have a business email or not, that's maybe $10 a month, depending on what you have. But $20,000 a month for cell phones and emails? I mean, what do you think about that?
I think she's crazy. She doesn't need all that much money. And yeah, I don't know, man. $900,000 for entertainment is crazy.
I mean, what's she gonna have the cast of Avengers come in her living room and reenact the whole movie for? Like, I know some people might think he has the money for it, he could pay for it. But when you look at the list of demands, even if you take out the prenup, but if you look at the list of demands, clothes, $135,000 a month. I mean, charitable contributions. First of all, she wants him to pay
for her charitable.
Yo.
Yeah, no, she's like, man. I mean, when you're accustomed to living a certain lifestyle, I mean, the budget is going to be super high. So, I mean, comes with being rich, I guess.
So here's the kicker for me out of silent audience. So, she talked about why she deserved this kind of money and that he forced her to sign a prenup. But here's her whole big thing. I don't need him to help me pay for anything, but I need him to pay, $2 million a month to me for spousal support. So it just mind boggles me that she don't want him paying any of her bills, but yet she has a list of demands that, quite frankly, don't make no much sense. And if you think about how much that is a year, $2 million a month for 12 months, that's $24 million right there. I mean, and I don't know, like I just thought that whole list of demand thing was just,
it's insane.
It's crazy. It's crazy. $900,000 a month in entertainment. You better get Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime videos. I mean, I only spend like maybe $25-$30 a month on Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon, and and a bunch of other subscriptions. Like $900,000. I can't even like. Wow. I mean, it goes back to it takes me back to when Chris Brown and his ex-girlfriend had, his daughter Royalty, and they settled out of the court that, he was going to pay I believe it was like $15,000 a month in child support. And then she felt $15,000 was reasonable. So then she asked the courts if he could pay $45,000 a month. It's like,
Yeah.
it's being greedy. It's being absolutely greedy.
Yeah,
And
man.
I think, and
But they
aside
don't
from,
want to go back.
yeah,
They don't want to go back to living regular. That's the thing. They just don't want to go back. And I mean, in one way, again, you can't blame them. Well, I'm not gonna say you can't blame them, but I just get the rationale, because that's like if you're used to, you know, freaking personal chefs and luxury cars and all that wealth and privilege, and you don't ever have a want or a need anymore. They don't want to go back to that, because these women, they don't work. They don't have
yeah,
jobs.
yeah.
They just be sitting there, just scratching and smelling and collecting money, getting their allowance from, whatever guy they're in a relationship with and stuff like that. And especially when they get knocked up, they're pretty much set for life. That's why they say, women be trapping men, because,
So I was just thinking about Steph Curry and his wife, and one thing she's always been applauded was the fact that despite her being married to Steph Curry, she went out, created her own business. She got her own cooking channel. She has a clothing line, if I'm not mistaken, or a makeup line. She went out and invested some of that for her own, for her own future. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because whether they married till the end or not, she wants to find something to do with her time. I don't think I know Nicole is a lawyer, right? So my whole thing is this: is someone said this on Twitter. He was like, when you divorce somebody, you also divorce in their lifestyle. So meaning you can't expect him to pay for all the luxuries he have when you divorce him. He has a personal chef, he has assistants, and he has drivers and stuff like that. When you divorce him, you can't live that same lifestyle because you're not with him no more. You can't expect him to continue that elegant and lavish lifestyle,
Yeah.
without you. Here's my thing. I will never speak on marriage because I'm not married. I can't tell nobody what to do. But I also feel like once you divorce somebody, you have to go do your own thing. So if you gotta go work at McDonald's, for $15 an hour, hey, that's what happens when you divorce somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people view marriage as till death do us part. And
Cannot be
nowadays,
confused too.
yeah, and nowadays I was reading an article. Divorce rates are sky high. I mean, people only getting divorced after 3 years. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I think some people might say, yeah, they was together for 25 years. And I thought that too. I was like, all right, they've been together 25 years. And then I realized, like, Dr. Dre already established who he was before he married her. It wasn't like, Jeff Bezos and his wife, starting Amazon from the garage all the way up to the empire it is, or, Bill Gates starting his company from the ground up with his wife, and then it blew up. At that point, you really can't tell her no to anything. But on the flip side, even if they were married for 25 years, $2 million a month with these kind of demands, yo,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I think marriages, especially for celebrities nowadays, have been a very hot button issue because I've seen this time and time again where a lot of celebrities get married and then a couple years in they get divorced, and there's not a knock against women, but most of the time women are the ones that walk away better than men do. And even if he could afford it, it's just, first of all, you signed the prenup, so you really can't demand all this stuff. And the thing that kind of blew my mind about it was she was saying, she was telling, apparently she had a conversation with a lawyer saying that he threatened her to sign the prenup, and it was like, we're getting married or not if you don't sign this prenup, and he was forcing her hand to do it. And I'm like, aren't you a lawyer?
Can't
Don't
blame
you?
the guy.
Yeah, aren't you the lawyer? Like, even if he did do that,
You're a
if you,
lawyer. Yeah, that's the
yeah,
whole point of you being a lawyer is to like know that type of shit. But it's Cat, man. She's not. It's just I don't know. I'll say this again. You know, if $2 million a month to me, all right, and especially if I have Dr. Dre money. Now I don't know how much Dr. Dre is worth.
he's worth about 900 billion.
900 what?
900 million.
Okay. So all right. So then let's say if out of $900 million, he's got, let's say 750 million in his account, and he still has income coming in. So let's say he still has a 7 or 8 figure salary, coming in. If you were there, if I'm Dr. Dre and you were with me when I wasn't a rapper or I was still coming up and I wasn't famous, when you're not going anywhere. But let's say, well, yeah, when you're not going anywhere. But let's say if you were, I wouldn't mind helping you because I remember the fact that you were with me and supported me when I had nothing. They got married in 1996. Dr. Dre was Dr. Dre by the late 80s, very early 90s. So by the time he was in by 1996, he was already a big time producer, figure in hip hop and everything like that. So she came late. She was way after the fact. And yeah, I would, state the fact in court. Like, look, she wasn't with me, when I had nothing. She wasn't there in the trenches. She didn't make any investments into me other than, sex and time. And what is that? Because I'm like, Nicole Young could have easily been any other woman off the street. So do I think that she deserves, $2 million? Absolutely not. I think, take maybe, 2 zeros off of that. You know what I'm saying? And she could do a lot with maybe $20,000. 2 million, no. And like I said, it depends, because you got to realize when you're so used to having, a certain lifestyle, when you don't have that money anymore, you're going to lose that stuff because you're not going to be able to pay for it anymore. People don't want to have to go through that. So she might as well just stay. Okay, cool. Well, I'm not giving you the money. So what are you going to do? You going or you staying?
Right. And and that's the part that I kind of, I'm on like, I understand 25 years is a long time. 24 years is a long time. But at the same time, like you said, she wasn't there when he was putting in the work, probably working minimum wage jobs to make ends
Yeah.
meet until he blew up. And then
Out in Compton, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Out in the trenches, like freaking, especially Compton was like bad in the mid late 80s, and even in the 90s. Even now, I'm pretty sure it's still trash out there. Where were you? So this is why people like him wind up in situations like that, because you're dealing with some. Because let me tell you something right now, a woman that was with him from the beginning, I bet you would not ask for that much. She wouldn't ask for that much. Like a real woman that, like, you know what I'm saying? That was like with you for you, and it wasn't about the money, like whether you make it or not. She's not gonna ask for all of that, because she'd probably be too distraught over the fact that y'all even had a divorce. Because again, we talked about this before. She's still living in the house, so they probably
right,
still see each
exactly.
other they probably still see each other every day. She's just in the West Wing, in the left corridor. You know what I'm saying? And they probably just like not speaking to each other, but they still live under the same roof, or at least he's probably maybe in another house or something like that.
Yeah,
So you got to understand, this is why. So you can't, in one way, the men that put themselves in these positions, they have to share in the blame, because if you're a guy that knows, then you'll know not to get with somebody that's really only going to be with you for how much you have and not actually who you are. And then in this day and age, like I've always said, where we live in a society where you either have money or you don't, and women judge men based on more monetarily than they do personally. A woman's going to be quicker to date somebody who's a doctor or a lawyer or who's already financially stable than, let's say, a guy who's on the come up, and there's no guarantee that he is going to be financially, stable. That's hypergamy. this is the society that we live in now. Now, obviously, you're rich and famous, you get to have your pick of women, but you got to be smart enough to know I can't really build anything with these women because I know for a fact if I didn't have any of this anymore, she'd be the first one to go. So this is why I say that marriage and happily ever after is a fallacy. It doesn't exist. Yeah, sure, you could perhaps money can buy you that. Yeah,
Yeah,
money can buy you that, but in the absence of all that stuff, when you lose it, one day where's she gonna go? She's gonna go right with all the stuff that money bought you because money bought you her. See what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty
right.
sure Nicole looked real good in 1996. She doesn't look, that good now. But I'm pretty sure she was bad back then. If I Google, Nicole Young 1996, I'm pretty sure she looked good. She was one of those things that money bought him. So
I was up last night for like 6 hours watching a bunch of YouTube videos, and I came across a channel called Top Notch Idiots. They're people our age that go around doing dumb stuff, for YouTube videos and stuff. But they do a thing called the Gold Digger experiment, and this is not just women. There's also men and a few of these videos. But what they would do is, so they'll approach a girl and they'll say, "Hey, how you doing? You look really nice today. You look really beautiful. What you up to? You want to go out to eat?" And she'd be like, "No, I'm too busy," or "I'm waiting for somebody to come get me."
yeah, then they pull up with a Lamborghini, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, I actually my schedule just opened up." Stupid bitch.
Yeah, yo, let me. So there was one particular one. It was like a lottery ticket one. So one of the guys on the crew was talking to this girl, right? And she was acting like she didn't speak Spanish and she didn't understand him. And one of the other guys on the crew was the lottery guy on the phone. So he calls him and says, "Hey, is this?" I forgot what his name was. I think it was like Chad or something. And so he asked her to help him, translate because he wasn't good with English. So he wasn't good with English. She wasn't good with Spanish. And then, the lottery guy, his friend was like, "Hey, we just found out that you have the one of the numbers for the lottery is $5 million." And he started reading off the number, and the girl he had gave the girl the paper so she can talk
Read
to
it.
the guy and figure it out. And then the moment the numbers matched, you saw a change. For now, she's speaking every language in a book you could find, and
Wow.
that they're best friends, and that she's available to go out to
Corny.
eat, and she wants to go help him claim the ticket, and that maybe they can hang out later and stuff like
Wow.
that. And like
Yep.
it wasn't even the fact that her personality switch. It was how clingy she became as soon as that happened. Like she wouldn't
All
leave
women
him
are like that.
alone. Yeah, she was trying to jump in
All.
the car with them, even though they was
And
like,
let me
"Nah, I'm good." Like it's crazy. Like
let me tell some of you women out there that may be listening to this. So y'all don't like to be generalized. Okay, you don't like when men say, "Oh, all women are like this," but it's true. All young women, these days. I'm not gonna talk about women who were born, in the early '80s, '70s, '60s, and prior. But like all you late '80s babies and '90s, and what I'm saying, Generation Z, y'all are all like that. Let take one dude whose girl just broke up with him, let him win the lottery tomorrow, and then let her catch one of that. She'll be one of the first people to hit up. And I would love to like just take part. Like to me, that would be like a social experiment, like just for me, because I would love to see the amount of people or like women that I haven't heard from or I used to date, and then like things went left and we broke up. See how quickly they start to blow up my phone, like, "Hey, oh, I heard about it. Congratulate," because that's basically how that conversation would start. Like, "Oh, hey, congratulations. So, how have you been?" I'd be like, "Bitch, wait, what the heck?" It's true. It's true. All of that is true. Like, you can have a Honda Civic one day, and then you have a Lamborghini, and she see you, riding down the street, top down and everything. She'll be hitting you up. That's just how women are. I mean, women will date guys, because of social media, how much social media followers they got. So they got 2 million, so she's gonna assume you got money. She's gonna assume that money comes with that 2 million. Oh, he got 2 million, so he might have 6 or 7 figures in the bank. Let me start to holler at him. All women are like that.
right.
I
And
will generalize y'all because it's true. There's no rebuttal.
yeah, I'm
Don't at
I
me.
I don't know this man. I don't associate with him. He's just a person on his pod. No, let me stop. I
The
mean,
guy is
to keep
controversial.
it positive too. Like I will also say there was another experience. It was another gold digger experiment where this dude was this. It was another guy, one of the main cast members. He was driving like a Lamborghini, like this gold crusted Lamborghini, and he
Wow.
was talking to this girl, and she was real nice, and he was like, "Hey, take a look at it and whatever." And then they did a thing where his friends came up and it was like, "Yo, man, we've been trying to call you. What's going on?" And they hired a tow truck and they told him that his stocks went down and that he lost a lot of his possessions. So the tow guy was taking his car and stuff like that. And then he turned around and was like, "So I guess you don't go on a date." And she laughed and she said, "You really think I was just here for that Lamborghini?" And then, obviously she was like, "Yeah, I'm still interested." And then she pulled up and Maserati, some blue Maserati. So it just goes to show like this not supposed to be attacking women for me, but it's mostly like we live in a day and age where a lot of feminists, say, women are equal to men and that they deserve to get paid as much as men and that, they're breadwinners too. But, unfortunately, time and time again, you see cases where people still live in that age where someone got to take care of them, and you have to have this type of money to even talk to somebody. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's how it is. That's just the criteria through which people tend to judge somebody. It's like how much they have and what they can do, for someone else. Because I mean, this has been going on since the beginning of time. When men and women started to pair, it's because women would go to the guy that would be the provider, right or wrong.
Right.
The strong guy that could hunt and bring the most food in, and then she'd be safe for him. That's how it is. Just nowadays it's really that, and then dollar signs. So it ain't about attacking women. It's about stating facts.
Yeah, I think
Because
people
we
get
date women
greedy.
for who they are. Saying they date us. Obviously the who we actually are takes a backseat to what we can do and how much money we make.
Right. And I was having a conversation with my brother about that while I was back in New York, because I've always been that type to wear non-name brand stuff and stuff like that. And he was like, "Yo, man, I know you got more money than me." And my brother is 2 years younger than me, but he likes Beats and he likes the more popular brands. And I was like, I'd be chilling. Obviously, I upgraded my wardrobe a little bit, so it's not Walmart t-shirts anymore. But I was like, look, man, I don't tell people my finances, stuff like that, because you see a change in people's mentality, and it's not just women. There's friends and all types of people. They find out you have a little money. You know, now they're your best friend in the world, and they want to go hang out all the time. And it's like I hate the fact that money changes people, and not in a good way. And that's why I applaud celebrities that go out and take their time to help others, because they know that even without the money, they still be doing what they want because that's what they love to do. And that because they have the resources, they can help out people.
Right.
But you also see an increased amount of, a lot of celebrities who talk about how they only date people in their industry on the level, because unfortunately, you meet people who have a little less than them, and they run into a situation like Dr. Dre, where people are getting divorced and walking away with way more than they should be, and now the dude got to start all over again, and
Yep.
it's crazy. It's crazy. Like, I mean, one more example, but there was a footballer. I don't remember his name. I don't watch football, and which is soccer in Europe. But there was a footballer who was married. He had, I think, like 3 kids. So obviously, he kind of knew with the contract and the money he had, he would, eventually, when they got divorced, I think they was only married for like 5 years. Now, obviously, he'll be paying some child support and stuff like that. Nope, was he wrong? She took the house, she got the kids, she got the cars, she got half his money, and it got bad to the point where he's homeless. He has no money. He's not playing in the league no more.
What's this?
And it just like I see why so many people are protective of
You
the
have to be.
finances.
You
And
have to be. You have to be because I'll quote my podcast or my quick take where a lot of the greatest people that you could think of, all these people who made something of themselves, their losses really came from their investments in people. So that athlete that you're talking about, he's one of them. His biggest loss came from when he invested in another human being, which is not something that people should really be investing in, because you don't really know people like that. Even if you know somebody for years, even if you're married and everything like that, things change, circumstances change, people change, and that is something that will always remain in this world. Is change. Obviously, look at this year, look at what I'm saying, like you know things change every day.
right,
Whether big or small. Obviously, systemically things haven't changed, but Chadwick Boseman not here. That's change. People
right,
ultimately have to deal with it, and that was one thing where it's a meme that I always liked. And it was you could wake up one day and your girl will leave you, or your the woman that you love can just turn around and love somebody else, but a dollar bill will still be a dollar bill. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
that's exactly why, where I'd rather invest in myself, invest in, things that can't be taken away versus, a woman, because, what you think is yours can be obtained by somebody else, because that same girl who left that athlete, you think she's going to be single?
Oh no.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. I can't invest in that information. No.
But you know what you can invest in? This podcast. You know what I'm saying? Because the more people that listen, the more money that fatten up my pocket, and I can quit my OnlyFans journey because I'm tired of taking feet pictures on my bed. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy, man.
Nah, but I want to talk about that, man, because like uh when I saw that list of demands that she was asking, I was just like, this is what we live in. Like it is my end message is basically like people need to stop being greedy. You know what I'm saying? Like she may seem like this is a low amount, but for a lot of people in this world, if they got $2 million a year, you know how many people, how many lives that would change? Like not
Yeah.
$100,000.
I don't care about that.
Yeah.
They don't care. They do not care, because whatever charitable donation she's talking about, how much money goes to charity every day. But then why is it that people are still in the same situation that they're in? But you got people who are multi-billionaires, and then even if they spent $2 million a day, over the course of 100 years, they still have plenty of money left over.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, but that would literally just turn into a whole nother topic.
Hey, if somebody wants to, send me a check for my charitable donations for instead of let's say 120, let's do $150,000. Let me know because
Nations.
that is nah I can't wrap my head around that part. Like you want him to pay for you to donate? I don't know.
He's a clown. That's why I said I would have just straight up told her, when I come home, where's the divorce paper? Oh, right here. Rip it up. You staying here. There's nothing to talk about. You staying here. That's it. That's exactly how you handle it. Unless he's seeing other women, and that might, because we don't know why they're having a divorce. But let's say if he's not seeing other women and he's just a workaholic business, when I come home and then you there, I would purposely come back home. So I would leave my other house that I'm staying at. I would come home. I would say, "You're not going anywhere. Where is it? Rip it up," and then tell the press, "Oh yeah, this was just a joke. Carry on." Next, and then that's it. That's it, because that's your girl. Like 25 years. I think even when you mention Chris Brown, it's like all right, him and his other girl Karuche, they broke up, but to me that's still his girl. You know what I'm saying? You just get to that point with people where, all right, yeah, y'all might go their separate ways, but you started with me, you might as well just stay. Especially if I got money and I'm still paying for you, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I may not have money, but I ain't staying anyway because this podcast is over. Nah, man, it's always good to have you on a podcast. Any parting words or any
Yep, just follow me on Instagram at Dimitri Dews Jr. Check out my YouTube channel, which will be the link for that will be in my bio on Instagram. But if you're on YouTube, Mr. DJ MDJ. I got the MDJ podcast. We talk about politics, sports, and relationships, all that stuff on there. I got a lot of gaming content if you're interested, and trailer reactions, all of that. So check me out.
Absolutely. And if you guys love this kind of quick take, which I kind of borrowed from my man Dimitri, let me know. Hit me up. I'm always also looking for people who's interested to voice their opinions. So, my Instagram is at Mr. No Days Off Percy. Or, just respond to me through the podcast. And I'm always looking for suggestions, comments, questions, and stuff like that. So, like I always end it, I actually got to go call Robert Downey Jr. back because he has to sign a contract for me, you know, some business stuff that, he has to pay me for. But other than that, thank you guys. A better hand is a helping hand. And thank you again for another good episode, Dimitri.
Peace.